Welcome, and thank you for joining me. Greyboard Gamer here with another series of playthrough videos. This time I am featuring Galaxy Defenders by Ares Games. If you didn't watch the setup video, the basic concept is these are our agents here. They're in a desert setting. There are two aliens that have been revealed. A couple of signals of unknown origin. We don't know what they are yet. We have our player cards over here. Our event decks are over there. Dice are off to the side, ready to go. These first couple of turns will be a little longer, and they'll get shorter and shorter as time progresses through the game, because I'm going to do a lot of explaining, going over the rules, explaining what's going on in the first couple of turns, and after we do that, the flow will get a little bit quicker as the rounds progress. This particular scenario will be played for 11 rounds. In the strategy phase of the 11th round, the scenario ends, and depending on how well we did in eliminating these teleporters, that's going to determine whether or not our mission is a success or failure. This scenario in the storybook is Mission 1, entitled Close Encounters. The agents are sent into the desert to investigate sightings of strange creatures. Once there, the agents are dazzled by strange, unnatural lights that gradually change shape into alien figures previously only seen in sci-fi movies. Now our objective is, we have these 4 teleportation points on the board, and we need to eliminate them. We're going to try to eliminate all 4 of them in the 11 rounds that we have to do that. Now, of course, the aliens that are here and the aliens that appear during this scenario are going to try and stop us and try and prevent that from happening. But I'll explain how these teleporters get destroyed and all the other rules as the rounds progress. Let's go ahead and get started with our very first round. The game comes with these handy quick reference cards that take you through the steps of a round, and also on the back side combat and actions that the players are allowed to do. There's a lot of different things that can happen, so it's very handy to have these quick reference guides. The first part of a round is the refresh phase, and that's where any powers or items that the players used that are allowed to be refreshed. Some items are single use and they're gone, but if they had some tactics or abilities that they used, this would be the time that those powers and items would refresh, and also the guard token would be refreshed, and I'll explain that if the sentry gun comes out. Since this is the first turn, none of that needs to happen. Next, we have the strategy phase of the first round, and the very first thing you do is you give the alpha agent token to somebody. It's called the alpha agent promotion phase. And what that does is it designates one of the players, especially in a multiplayer game, as the alpha agent. That way if there's any decisions that need to be made, any ties that need to be broken, or anything that they can't agree on, whoever was designated as the alpha agent would be the person to break the tie, to make the decision. And also some events and some aliens and different things occur and happen according to who the alpha agent is. So you can change it during the strategy phase of each round. Then after you do that, next you would do the Galaxy Defender wings phase. I'm sorry, not wings phase, but part of the strategy phase is to get your Galaxy Defender wings. And what that is if at least one alien was killed during the previous round, then all the agents get to roll some dice to see if they're able to gain a promotion in order to get more advanced equipment, skills, tactics, things like that. And when that happens, I'll explain that also. Next, we would have the reinforcements part of the strategy phase. And reinforcements would happen if they were able to collect these fragments. And I'll explain how those get collected. If you have all 4 of them, you can send the fragments back to headquarters. And then during the reinforcements phase, you're able to gain additional items and equipment that are sent from headquarters after you were able to send that alien tech back and they were able to figure it out. And then finally, the last part of the strategy phase is the mission status check. And that's just checking to see, hey, have we already destroyed all 4 of these? And if we have, that's it, it's done. You don't have to keep going through to the 11th turn. Now that we're past the mission status check, we move into the battle phase. Now each operative player, during the agent's turn, they can move, perform an action, or perform combat. Now they can do all 3 of these actions in any order during their turn. Now you can move first, then shoot and perform an action, or any combination thereof, but you cannot interrupt something and then continue it. So we wouldn't be able to move an agent, say Agent Mercury here, she has a movement of 5. I couldn't move her 3 hexes, have her do combat, and then continue and move the additional 2. She has to move as much as she wants and then continue on with her other actions. Or she could perform combat and then move, or during action, and so forth. Plus on the back of the reference card, or the other side, you can see you can combine items. Like if you get to a place where there's a door, you can use your action and your combat to open that door. If you need to run away from an enemy, you can use your action and combat to get out of there, and so forth. And that's all explained on the reference card. So we need to start with our alpha agent, which is Agent Mercury, who is right here, and devise a strategy for her and see what we're going to do with her first round. I want to try and have Agent Mercury come down around this berm to get to this first teleporter to destroy it, so we can get one of these taken care of quickly. Now I don't want to move her too close because I don't want this green spine critter to be able to come over here and get her real quick, not at least in the first round. She can move up to 5. And the agents move by hexes. So there's small hexes here inside the areas. So I'm going to bring her over to here, which would be just a movement of 4. So I'll bring her over here. And that berm would not allow her to see the signal yet, because you have to have line of sight to reveal the signal. And line of sight in the rulebook is defined as the center of a hex to the center of another hex. As long as there's nothing obstructing that view, then you would see what was going on with this signal. And as soon as a signal is in line of sight, it gets flipped and revealed, and it's either an alien or a human. Now, even if she was here, we still got the corner of this berm that would block us from seeing that signal. So that one stays hidden. She moved 4. She can also do an action or combat this phase of her round, but there's nothing that she's going to do combat with. She doesn't have line of sight in order to fire her secondary weapon, but her secondary weapon only has a range of 1 area, so the alien would have had to have been in here for her to actually take a shot at him. And in order to destroy a teleporter, you have to be in a hex adjacent and use your action. So she has nothing else that she's going to do right now for her round. and we will move on to our next agent, which is Agent Thorium, our biotech agent. Actually, it is not the next agent's turn. After the agent uses their abilities up that they're going to do for that round, the aliens go. So now we would draw a close encounter card for Agent Mercury. So we'll draw our first close encounter card. And it is Quiet Dawn. Activate no aliens. Well, that is just a bit of good luck to start off the first round. And now, since there's nothing going on with the aliens on this turn, we will now go to our next agent, which is Agent Thorium, the biotech agent. Agent Thorium, our biotech agent, has a movement of 4. I'm going to have him come over here to this side of the berm. Now what I wanted to do is in the next round I want to move him around the berm so he can deploy his sentry gun out here in the open that has a better line of sight to interact with and shoot at the aliens. This signal up here is still out of line of sight because this berm here blocks it, so that one will not be revealed. He has no special actions that he's going to do, and he's not engaging in combat. So for him, it would be time to draw his close encounter card at the end of his round. And Bloodlust. Activate all wounded aliens. Well, that's another bit of luck early on here, because none of our aliens are currently wounded. So that's 2 times now we've lucked out with the close encounter deck early on. And now it's time to move on to our final agent this round, which is Agent Titanium, our Hulk. And for Agent Titanium, he only has a movement of 3. Now I want to get him to this area here, and I'll explain why. I'll move him 3. Again, he can't see that signal, he can't see that one, so they stay unrevealed. But if you look on the back of our quick reference guide, there is an action that's allowed called Tactical Redeployment, and it uses your action and your combat. Well, he only used his moves so far, so he still has his action and combat left. So I'm going to do that to do a Tactical Redeployment. And what that is the agent is able to redeploy into any hex in his current area. So he's currently in this area, which means any one of these hexes I can move him to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redeploy him here behind this berm. Again, still the signals are out of line of sight and will not be revealed, but that gives him a line of sight on this alien, which will allow him to do combat with it in the next round if the alien is still in that location. He is done with his actions, so we'll draw our first close encounter card, and it is First Contact. And we have this special symbol here. Activate all Xenobeta. If there are no Xenobeta in play, teleport 1 Xenobeta in. Okay, well there is 1 Xenobeta. That's our blue guy over here. So he's going to be activated. Let's go ahead and do that and see how the alien AI works. This special symbol, the red triangle with the alien face, is in reference to if there are no Xenobeta in play, teleport 1 in. Whenever you see that on one of the close encounter cards, that means some aliens may be teleported onto the field of play. The AI for the aliens is handled by their respective card. And you can see over here it tells you what to do. And this represents number of areas. So if it was in the same area as an agent, it would move 2 areas away. if it was one area away, it would attack with its blaster and then move away one. So the Xenobetas like to maintain distance because they have no melee weapon. So they don't want to be up close with an agent. If they're two away, that's when they're the most dangerous. Then they get to attack twice with their blaster, and then so on. You follow the AI. Now, if none of these can be matched, if they're not within 0, 1, 2, or 3 of an agent, then you just fall down to the generic AI, and then they'll move one area toward the closest agent, and then use regenerate. And regenerate allows them to heal one of their wounds. Now our blue Xenobeta is over here. Now in order for them to do combat, actually fire at somebody, they do have to have line of sight. But you can still do if they don't have line of sight on anybody, you can still do their generic action, which is move one area towards the closest agent. And the aliens move by area, so they'll move from center area, the center hex of each area, so on. So right now the closest agent to the Xenobeta is 4 away, which is our buddy here, Agent Titanium, the Hulk class. All the rest are too far away to count, so nothing on this card takes into account being 4 away, except for the generic, which is to move one area closer. So the alien, the Xenobeta, will simply move one area closer for his action, and that will be all he will do for his current round. When the aliens move, they're able to redeploy within their hex to get closer to agents. So if one of our agents was on one of these hexes bordering the area it moved into, and this one had a melee attack, then it would move. So if we had an agent right here, it moved to this area, we could redeploy it to here or here at the end of its turn, because we want to be as beneficial to the aliens when we're controlling them and not just set our agents up for victory. They have to earn it. That round was extremely gentle on us. No new aliens came out, no one got attacked. Our close encounter cards were the good ones, which means all the bad ones are probably going to hit us one after another. Now that the agents have moved and completed their turns, now we go to the event phase. And we draw the event card and handle its effects. And this is the Alien Assault. So we're going to teleport in some signals here. And this is a 3-player game. So we're going to teleport in 2 signals. So let's do that before we move on to the next part of the card. Now the game comes with these custom die for attacking and defending. And you use one of the defense dice whenever you're doing a teleport action, and you simply roll, and and you're looking for a match on one of the corresponding symbols, so that would be the shield symbol. And what we do is we have, just off to the top of the board, you can't see it in frame, is the signal draw pile, and they're all face down. So I grab one randomly, and then the shield symbol is right here, and we take that signal and we place it on the hex or on any adjacent hex if this is already occupied with a signal. And the hex is determined by whoever the alpha agent is. So if this was a multiplayer game, the alpha agent would determine which hex this signal would go on if the teleport hex was occupied. That's our first signal. Now we need to roll for our second. And our second signal will come in at the shield also. So the aliens are going to be piling up there. We'll take another signal at random, and it should go to the shield here. And we have 4 hexes to choose from. Now, I could put it back here to keep it out of the way to make it easier for us, but again, I want to be as advantageous to the aliens as I can to make the agents work for it. So I'll place the signal in this adjacent hex, and the center of that hex can be seen by Agent Mercury there, which means this signal gets revealed and it is an alien. And because it's an alien, we will draw from the alien draw pile and spawn a blue spine critter. Our blue buddy here, the blue spine critter, will go where that signal was revealed, and then that signal will be discarded to the discard pile to be recycled back in when we run out of available signals. The blue spine critter's card will be assigned to the alpha agent, since she was the one that revealed it. Now, the game tells you in the rulebook that if you reveal an alien and somebody already has that type, then you would assign it to them no matter who revealed it. So if another blue spine critter comes up, it would go to Agent Mercury. If another green one comes up, it would go to her. And if another blue Xenobeta would come up, it would go to the biotech agent, Agent Thorium. Now when this alien comes out, it's revealed, but it doesn't get a turn, so it's still just right there next to us and very dangerous, because the blue ones are harder to defeat than the green ones and have stronger attacks. Now here's where things get rough. All signals move 3 areas towards the closest agent. Now we're going to see a lot of aliens appear. Now we have these 2 signals right here. This signal in this area is 2 areas away from Agent Titanium and 2 areas away from Agent Mercury. Now, we don't know if that is a alien or a human yet, so we want to do what's most advantageous for the possible alien. Moving him here would probably be bad because Agent Titanium has a weapon that he can shoot, a heavy weapon that he can shoot at range, where Agent Mercury has only a small sidearm to shoot at range. And now what happens is we'll move this signal 1 area, and it's said to move them 3 areas, but as soon as a signal gains line of sight of one of the agents, it is immediately stopped its movement and is revealed. This one is also an alien and is a green Xenobeta. Our new friend here, the green Xenobeta, will take the place of that revealed signal. That will be discarded. Next, we would have this signal here, which will move 1 area closer. It's going to move right here, unfortunately, for Agent Mercury. And it will immediately be revealed. And it is also an alien. And it is another green Xenobeta. Our green Xenobeta will appear right here and be right next to Agent Mercury. Now we have 1 more signal left up here, and it's going to move 3 areas towards the closest agent. The closest agent is, of course, Agent Titanium here. Let me fix my little bump there. Okay. So it's going to move 3 areas. 1, 2, 3. I think coming in behind them would be more advantageous than coming in forward at them. So we'll move the signal 1 Still not in line of sight. 2 is not in line of sight. And 3, it appears. And luckily for us, it's a human signal, which doesn't mean that a human appears in the game, but an alien does not. Now that our event card is fully resolved, that will end the round, and we'll be able to move on into round 2 now.